Nancy Burt-Preece here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Here's all my contact information. Today we are going to work on the elusive mail card, or people that love the outdoors, or any kind of, not flowers or pink. So we're trying to do something a little different. I cased this from Stampin' with Kris. I tweaked it up a little bit, but I'm using Unbridled Beauty. Make sure you can see that. And the right words, which I really like because they have lots of different words you want. I like thinking of you a lot. I use that a lot. So this is relatively easy, but it's a fun card. So I'm going to start with my Early Espresso 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. I have an inside white 4 by 5 1/4. And I have an outside crumb cake, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and it's embossed with the birch embossing folder. I have this is the biggest 2 from the Stylish Shapes dies. This is espresso and white. I have, this is still in the catalog, this designer series paper. So I have a 3/4 by 5.5, and it's kind of, it's country woods, and it's, you can use either side. I have a strip of a 1/2 inch for my saying. I'm using a masking technique, which we'll talk about. And I'm only using Early Espresso and Memento Black. So it's kind of a nice card. It's a generic card, but I really like to celebrate, or to someone we're celebrating every single day. That's just a really neat sentiment. So we're going to start by putting our house kind of in the middle. I got something on there. Kind of in the middle. Oops, let's stamp it first. Golly gee. Let's stamp the house first. Make sure you're inking it up really good. And I'm going to stamp the house kind of in the middle, a little bit towards the left. Now I'm going to mask it. And I only had one tree on there, but I put another one because it just seemed like, I don't know, there was too much sky left and I didn't like it. So I'm going to ink up the tree really good. And I'm going to put part of the tree to the left and part of the tree a little bit to the right behind the house. And then, I'm just going to get that off there so I don't get it on my card. I can pick up my mask, and I'll have a few of these at my class. So it looks like the trees are behind the house, which I like. I've got a couple of horses, which I'm going to put right here. And just to kind of add to the end, I'm going to put a fence in the front. Now, the first time I stamped, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little grass at the bottom of the fence. I stamped it upside down and it did not look right. So make sure you put the grass at the bottom or it will not look like it's supposed to look. I don't have my little wet mat for my glass mat, so I'm just going to do this just to make sure I don't get anything. I have a paper towel. I'll just get that dry. I don't want to get that on my card. Okay. Now comes the fun part, the coloring, which I like. So the colors I'm using today are both of the Old Olives crumb cakes, and I'm using the light Pool Party. So you can do, there is no rhyme or reason how you do it. I'm going to start with a pool party. Sounds like a weird thing, but I am. I'm just kind of going around the tree. You notice I'm not spending a ton of time getting it perfect. I'm just kind of going around the tree. Do you have to use the pool party? You don't. That's a perfect, you know, example of what you could do. You don't have to. And I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of circular. I love the blends. They're great to color with. And there you go. It's all I really need for the pool party. Now I'm going to come in with the dark Old Olive. I'm going to use the small end, and Stampin' Up! Already kind of gave us where the dark part of the tree is. I'm just following what they already gave us, which is the dark parts of the tree. And it makes it so much easier when you're trying to figure this out. I'm going to make these little grass pieces, kind of the dark parts too. I'm just kind of doing, you notice I'm not doing anything perfect. Just kind of giving it a little bit of a shadow there. Now I'm going to come with the light Old Olive. And I am going to give that a little bit. We'll come back to here a little bit. I might add a little there. The beautiful thing is people really don't know what this is supposed to look like. So if you color something you think should be a different color, nobody's going to know but you, really. Put a little bit of green there. Now what I'm going to do before I go on is I'm going to take the dark crumb cake and just add a little bit of the stems of the tree. And I'm going to kind of come through on adding a little bit to the barn there and the posts. All right. Then I'll come back. I have to add a little bit more of the light Old Olive, like here maybe here. It's not supposed to be specific. It's supposed to be just light and easy. I'm going to do the rest of the house in the light crumb cake. I'm going to do the dark crumb cake for the horses. I will have lots of, if you come up to a class of me, I will have lots of colors out, so you can pretty much do whatever you want. But that's what I do. I'm going to add a little bit more of the dark down here a little bit. This is the dark Old Olive. Maybe a little bit here. Last time I didn't, and I wanted to see if it would look different. Really, there is no right or wrong to this. This is what I like about this. You're just kind of making a collage of images. If there's something you don't like, you can come back, add a little bit. I'm just going around the horses. It's not perfect. Just coloring in around the fence. So that's how I do it. It is not amazing. I'm not an amazing colorer. I don't have amazing technique, but I like the way it looks. And isn't that what it's all about? So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the circle. I'm going to adhere this. Now, people ask, which side is up? Whichever side you want. There is no rhyme or reason to it. At least as far as I'm concerned, it is a personal preference. Sometimes people like the embossed or the debossed. And that is totally okay. Now I'm going to add that pretty seam. Every time I do it, it looks different, in case you're wondering. Now, last time I stamped the inside sentiment in black, and this time I think I'm going to do it in espresso. I think it'll kind of mesh better. I just think it'll look better because that's what I'm doing the outside sentiment in. So now I'm going to do the outside. And when you're cutting these, make sure the angles both go the same way. If they don't, it doesn't look right. I used to try to do it the other way, and it does not look right. So make sure that your angles are going the correct way. And I'm going to pop this up on the front. I like this also because it's kind of like a spring or summer scene outside, which is neat. And it's just nice to have those nice, we're in March here in New York, so we're kind of ready for it to be nicer weather, really big time. At least I am. I don't know if anybody else is. Now, if you're popping this up, sometimes you have to be careful. Don't put a lot of pop up. I kind of did there. It pops up a little more there. That's okay. And the last thing I'm going to do is, I knew it was here, take my 3/4 by 5 1/4 piece of designer series paper. I line it up. And adhere that. Just adds a little bit to the inside of the card. You've already done so much stamping on the outside. I don't think you need to do more on the inside. That's just me. Other people might have a different opinion, and you have this really neat card for those that love the outside, love horses, a mail card, whatever you want to use it for. So I hope you enjoyed this card and try it yourself. Have a great day.